Guys, Travis Fowler, Harkwriter, Four Corner Post, bringing you this week's edition of the Best Wrestling Show. I am recording from a special location this week, right outside the venue, inside my car, at the promotion that I am doing commentary for. It's my local promotion and a local federation based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, WFC, that's Wrestling for a Cause, and we've got a great show lined up tonight. And if you are local to the Tulsa area, come check us out next month and visit the WFC Wrestling for a Cause webpage on Facebook, and you will find all about the next show next month in March. But let's get right to some of the action that we had. It was a great week this week for professional wrestling. A lot of real good, solid shows, actually. SmackDown, of course, was highlighted by the contract signing for the now announced unification title match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Of course, it was your standard contract thing. It wasn't anything special, but the big announcement is that it's a unification match, which just implies that we potentially are going to see the end of the brand split at WrestleMania. I personally am okay with that. I think it's okay to consolidate the rosters again, as I think WWE is getting a little thin when it comes to each individual roster, so I think it's okay to combine them again. We also saw the New Day take on Los Lotharios, and a little match that's keeping the New Day relevant, and I'm still really sad at what they've done with Big E. He goes from being WWE champion now to back in a tag team in less than 2 months, and I really just am disappointed that WWE didn't go a little bit further with his character. But it is what it is. The Rousey-Charlotte Flair feud also continued, and I'm just not as excited for Rousey like I was the first go-around. I think the aura that she brought with her was really, really solid the first time, very organic, but I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority, but I'm just not really excited for the match. I know they had a great match at Survivor Series a couple years ago, but I don't know. I'm not sold on this match yet, and from everything I'm seeing from Rousey lately, I'm just not as hopeful for this match as I was for the first go-around. Also, on the WWE side of things, Raw was a really solid show, actually, this week. They had the red herring announcement of Logan Paul, when some people thought it may have been Cody Rhodes, to be the tag team partner for The Miz against the Mysterios at WrestleMania. That was actually a really fun tease. Of course, Brock Lesnar promised that he would show up on SmackDown on Monday, and he did. We also heard that announcement that there will be a, at this moment, non-televised matchup at Madison Square Garden a week from today, which I'm recording this on Saturday. So next Saturday is the planned Madison Square Garden show, where Lesnar will have to defend his title against an opponent that is yet to be named. Most people are pretty certain Bobby Lashley is not that opponent. But honestly, the main event was really good on Raw, and they built it up through the entire show. This was the Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins versus RK Bro matchup, and if Rollins and Owens won, they would be added to the tag title match, not this Monday, but the following. And it was so good. Like, it was a very solid tag match, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. On the AEW side of things, we saw the promo build for Moxley and Bryan, which Bryan Danielson took on Danny Garcia, and that match was mainly to get to the point of announcing Moxley versus Danielson at AEW's Revolution. We saw a great promo by MJF that had a lot of what's come to be truths from MJF. They actually have a picture cycling on Facebook currently with the actual post that MJF did that he was mentioning on AEW Dynamite this week. It's pretty insane how real that was. And the tears were coming. It was a real solid program between Punk and MJF thus far. Now it actually had some good emotion behind it to lead to their match at Revolution. Hangman and Adam Cole have done really good in a short amount of time to get you somewhat hyped for this matchup at Revolution for the title. We also saw Pentagon Dark, or Penta Oscuro, I believe is how it's pronounced. That is a poor Spanish rendition, so I hope I did decent with it. That was cool, but that was then topped by the new member of House of Black, that being the Dark Secret, Buddy Matthews. I really look forward to seeing what goes on from here with the House of Black. It's been solid thus far, and I think there's a lot more cool things to come from the House of Black. Also, going into Impact Wrestling this week, coming off of No Surrender, much to the same as what WWE was coming off of Elimination Chamber. it was a good, solid show. The wrestling was decent enough. Nothing really to stand out other than a lot of match announcements for the Sacrifice event coming up. Heath versus Morrissey has a small build, but it seems to be a pretty decent feud. We also saw the Inspiration is going to take on the Influence announced. Jonah is going to take on PCO, one of the newest members to the Impact roster that's a member of Honor No More. Speaking of which, that has been the main story, and it is one of many reasons you should be watching Impact at this point in time. Bullet Club being involved is also freaking amazing. I love it dearly. I love everything that's been going on over there. There's just been great logical storytelling and long-term storytelling, it seems, from Impact recently. If you haven't been watching, you really should. It's worth every watch. So that comes down to what was the best show of the week. It was really hard and so close between two shows. And I think it's just by a minimal, believe it or not. I have to give it still to Impact Wrestling. Raw was right there. I mean, really, I enjoyed Raw quite a bit for a WWE show. Yes, it was your standard coming off of a big event, but it was still really good. The main event, like I said, was absolutely solid, but Impact has just been solid, period, for the last few months. They've enjoyed this little renaissance that they've been having. I still love the Honor No More story. Eddie Edwards' explanation made all the logical sense. That's what I meant by them doing logical booking. It also had long-term storytelling in it, with his actual frustrations as the character, of course, coming through, talking about how he felt Impact turn his back on him. It is a very good story, and it keeps you interested. So for that very reason, as well as many others, I think Impact Wrestling is just the most solid show right now, and they got the best wrestling show for this week. That's all I have for you this upcoming week. What did you think was the best wrestling show? Do you think Raw was better than Impact Wrestling? Have you been watching Impact? If not, get on to it. Let me know how you feel in the comment section down below. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure that you like the channel. And if you haven't already, hit the little bell over there so that you are notified anytime there's a new video uploaded to the channel. As always, I'm Travis Fowler, Hark Rider, Four Corner Post. I'll see you next week.